Republic of Doyle is a Canadian comedy-drama television series set in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador which aired on CBC Television from January 6, 2010 to December 10, 2014. The show stars Allan Hawco as private investigator and former police officer Jake Doyle and Seán McGinley as his father, Malachy Doyle. They partner as private investigators with Rose Doyle, Malachy's second wife, played by Lynda Boyd, in St. John's. Krystin Pellerin stars as Constable Leslie Bennett, with Mark O'Brien as Desmond Courtney, who works with the Doyles, and Marthe Bernard as Katrina, Tinny Doyle, Jake's niece and Malachy's granddaughter. Their cases involve them in all sorts of dealings, not all of them on the right side of the law. The show was renewed on April 4, 2014, for a sixth and final season. Cast Main cast Allan Hawco Jake Doyle, Seán McGinley Malachy Doyle, Lynda Boyd Rose Miller, Krystin Pellerin Leslie Bennett, Rachel Wilson Dr. Nicky Reinholds Mark O'Brien Desmond Courtney, Marthe Bernard Katrina Tinny Doyle, Bob Cole Voice of the Republic. Recurring cast Steve O'Connell Sergeant Daniel Hood, Seán Panting Walter Mcclain, Michelle Nolden Alison Jenkins, Jonathan Goad, Christian Doyle, Lola Tash, Sloan Daniels, Rick Roberts, Mayor William Cadogan Clark, Jonathan Keltz, Grayson Mann, Patricia Isaac, Monica Haywood, Nicholas Campbell, Martin Poole, Paul Gross, Kevin Crocker, Gordon Pinsent, Maurice Becker, Victor Garber, Garrison Steele, Alan Doyle, Wolf Redmond, Scott Grimes, Jimmy Irk, Russell Crowe, Season 3, Episode 1, Kevin Durand, Season 3, Episode 1. Characters: Jake Doyle Jake is a 30-year-old man living with his father Malachy because his ex-wife Nikki kicked him out. A former cop, he works as a private investigator with his father, Mal, and his father unregistered trademark wife, Rose. He is overprotective of his 16-year-old niece, Tinny. He is the second son and youngest child of Mal Doyle and his late wife Emily Ann. He drives a 1968 Pontiac GTO and wears a black leather jacket, both of which figure prominently and iconically throughout the series. After years of pursuit, in Season 4 he and Leslie Bennett become a couple. He also discovers in Season 5 that he has a 16-year-old daughter, Sloane. Near the end of the series Sloane reveals to Jake that it was all a scam and she forged the DNA test and isn't actually Jake's daughter. In the series finale Leslie reveals to Jake that she is pregnant and after being shot by Inspector Pickard and she is in the hospital it is revealed to Jake that she is going to have twins. Leslie Bennett Leslie is an inspector in the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary who is friends-lovers with Jake and gives him information to help with his cases. Leslie is Jake's source of distraction from his cases and personal life. She is a sharpshooter, very intelligent and a great match for Jake. She and Jake have real feelings for each other, but seem to show them the wrong way, making their relationship complicated but very interesting. From Season 4 onwards their relationship has been growing stronger, until a secret from her past resurfaces. She is the mother of two with another baby on the way. Malachy Doyle Malachy, known as Mal or Skipper and Poppy, is a private investigator with his son, Jake in their business Doyle & Doyle. He is 56 and has 3 grown children, Christian, Kathleen and Jake. He also has a granddaughter named Tinny, who is living with him while her mother is away working in Alberta. His wife Rose lives with him, his granddaughter, and his youngest son Jake. He pokes fun at Jake's somewhat unsuccessful relationships with women. He has since discovered he has a second granddaughter. Rose Miller Rose is Mal's wife, stepmother to Jake, Christian, and Kathleen, and step-grandmother to Tinny and Sloane. She works as the office manager-secretary for Doyle & Doyle. She seems to have a love-hate relationship with her husband unregistered trademark granddaughter Tinny and his son Jake, which has evolved over the series into motherly affection. Rose's criminal ex-husband, Martin Poole, keeps turning up. Nicky Reinholds Nikki is Jake's ex-wife. Nikki was a physician at a St. John's hospital. Nikki helped out with different cases in the first few episodes. She has since remarried, moved away, and has a son. Katrina Tinny Doyle Courtney Tinny is the daughter of Kathleen Doyle. She lives with her grandfather, Mal or Poppy as she calls him, Uncle Jake and grandfather unregistered trademark wife, Rose. She is 16 and can't unregistered trademark stand her grandfather and uncle's overprotective nature. She has a love-hate relationship with her grandfather's girlfriend, Rose, and one of the employees and main characters, Courtney. Tinny has since become a constable with the constabulary, and has begun dating Des. She is now Katrina Tinny Doyle Courtney after marrying Des. Courtney Des is the fashion-challenged and delinquent graffiti artist who tags the town and Jake unregistered trademark beloved Pontiac GTO until Jake brings him to heel and into the employ of Doyle and Doyle Investigations. He is 19 and has a crush on Tinny, leading Jake to dislike him. His real name is Desmond Redmond, and he is the son of the infamous, yet equally as dopey, Jody Redmond. Not wanting to be associated with his father, Des conceals his identity. He has grown from a delinquent to a valued member of Doyle and Doyle, specializing in the technological side of investigations. After a failed relationship with a medical student and surviving getting shot, he has begun dating Tinny. He is now married to Tinny Doyle Courtney. Walter Mcclain Walter has been Jake's best friend since kindergarten and his wingman that used to be right behind Jake in a fight. Walter was Jake's lawyer in his divorce from his wife Nikki. Walter appears only sporadically. In Season 3 he becomes romantically involved with Tinny's mother Kathleen. The status of their relationship is unknown, but presumed to be over. Alison Jenkins Alison is the Crown Attorney and has all the things that turn Jake's head. What was once strictly professional turned into a romantic relationship, which ended when she realized Jake's feelings for Leslie were stronger than his feelings for her. She appeared briefly in Season 4. Sloane Daniels, initially believed to be Jake's 16-year-old daughter that he had with high school flame Ellen Daniels, Sloane spent her time in group homes before meeting the Doyles. In Whistleblower her half-sister arrives and reveals to the Doyles that she is not Jake's daughter after all and was simply conning them. She is responsible for bankrupting the Doyles, and eventually attempts to turn herself into the police to make things right before Jake stops her. She leaves to go to Gander to live with her aunt. Kevin Crocker, Jake's former partner on the force, and Tinny's biological father. Crocker was dismissed from the force for the presumed murder of a call girl, and has been on the run ever since. In Season 4 he discovers that he is Tinny's father, much to Jake's initial dismay. The character name is evocative of the character name, Bobby Crocker, and the actor who played him, Kevin Dobson, in the classic television series Kojak, starring Telly Savalas. Production: the show is filmed in and around St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. The show's star, Allan Hawco, is also executive producer, co-creator and head writer of the show. Other producers include John Vacher, Rob Blackie, Perry Chafe and Michael Levine. In 2013, Republic of Doyle aired a fictional crossover with another CBC television crime drama, Murdoch Mysteries. With the two shows set over 100 years apart, Hawco appeared on the November 25, 2013 episode of Murdoch Mysteries as Jacob Doyle, a 19th-century ancestor of Jake Doyle, while Yannick Bisson appeared on the January 29, 2014 episode of Republic of Doyle as Detective Bill Murdoch, a 21st-century descendant of his regular character Detective William Murdoch. Season synopses. Season 1 premiering on January 6, 2010. The show introduces Allan Hawco as Jake Doyle and Seán McGinley as Mal Doyle as a father and son pair of private investigators. The debut show also reveals relationship complications with Jake and his ex-wife Nikki and his new infatuation, Leslie, the inspector who works at the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary. While Jake tries to improve his relationship with Leslie, he discovers he may have impregnated his ex-wife, but soon discovers the positive pregnancy test he found in her garbage can did not belong to her. After he realizes he is free from the burden of having to deal with child support, His relationship with Leslie develops as Nick, a unregistered trademark's relationship with her new boyfriend grows. However, Leslie soon begins to decide whether her relationship with Jake will prove beneficial in the future. As Jake finalizes his divorce with Nikki, his relationship status with Leslie improves to good friends. Yet Leslie, unregistered trademark's focus quickly shifts to her new title as sergeant after being promoted to the position. Jake realizes he has other problems too. His mischievous older brother, Krystin, makes an unexpected visit to his house, greeting him in the kitchen. After Krystin offends Jake, their relationship swiftly intensifies. The last episode of the season showed the characters unregistered trademarks struggle to keep their republic strong as their relationships fall apart. Season 2 Season 2 begins with Rose, Malachy unregistered trademark's partner, dealing with the consequences of his recent heart attack. Meanwhile, Jake and Leslie take initiatives to move past the hiccups in their relationship and move on from one another. Tinny, Jake's unregistered trademark's niece, embarks on an investment in order to raise personal funds. Meanwhile, Mal discovers a secret that Rose has kept from him. Her mother stole her engagement ring. Jake learns what Leslie sees their relationship as. As the season progresses, so does Tinny, unregistered trademark's income business along with the amount of friends she makes. Jake as well as the viewers are introduced to Allison, the Crown Attorney. Meanwhile, Mal and Rose experience issues in their marriage but are quickly able to recover and move forward. As Malachy unregistered trademark's relationship with Rose strengthens, so does Jake's unregistered trademark's relationship with Allison when they move past the boundaries of friendship. Des, an admirer of Tinny yet an enemy of Jake, exploits Tinny unregistered trademark's business yet saves it in the process. Adding to the drama, Jake finds himself bailing his delinquent brother out of jail and finds himself dealing with issues concerning money. Like all his previous relationships, Jake manages to maintain his relationship with Allison. When Jake receives a new job offer, his relationship with Allison struggles even further. Meanwhile, the relationship of Des and Tinny becomes more intimate. After further complications with Allison, Jake decides to break up with Allison. Season 3 In the opening episode of Season 3, the viewers are informed that Tinny travels to London. However, it is revealed by Des that her trip did not go smoothly but Des promises to keep the hiccup a secret. Jake finds himself interacting with Nikki again by doing a favor of which he is not fond. Jake struggles to avoid Nikki and win back the unimpressed Allison. Rose gets in trouble with the police for carrying a gun. Tinny is bothered by the quickly growing relationship between Des and Chandra, a university student of medicine. Kathleen, a newly introduced character that serves as Jake's sister, is helped with her mothering issues by Rose. The two begin to progress in their friendship. Des finds himself in a precarious position choosing between Tinny and Chandra. He decides to break up with Chandra and pursue a romance with Tinny. Kathleen faces parenting issues at home. Des attempts to impress Jake by helping him in an investigation using his various connections, while Allison jeopardizes the safety of the Doyle household with a mistake from her past. Mal becomes tied up in complications with his former wife while Tinny obsesses over her death and Kathleen experiences troubles in their relations as a result of a poor decision in Kathleen unregistered trademark's history. George, an unappreciated individual in the Republic, bothers Kathleen by scamming her, but Jake comes to the rescue and saves her from his tricks. The season ends with Tinny discovering the identity of her father, which is not revealed to the viewers. Season 4 The season kicks off with relatives from Ireland paying the Doyles a visit and bringing some drama along with them. As in the previous season, Tinny still tries to unravel hidden secrets about her dad and succeeds in doing so. She discovers her mother, Kathleen, conceived her with a current prisoner, Kevin Crocker. Tinny attempts to associate with Crocker by revealing her true identity as his daughter. Jake tries to redefine his relationship with Leslie by reintroducing her into his world, and by doing so, he is able to once again gain her trust, as well as her affection. However, disaster strikes and Jake searches for the missing Leslie, who disappeared as a result of working a precarious case. Jake soon comes to the rescue, and saves Leslie from her kidnapper. Soon after the major incident, Leslie is hit by personal issues regarding family. Her father dies. Meanwhile, Tinny, a unregistered trademark, has relations with Crocker and Jake is troubled by the fact that Tinny is spending so much time with a con. Jake takes another hit after being kidnapped as his kidnapper nearly take his life by burning him to death. After being hit by a car in a parking garage, the medication used to mend Jake's injuries from the incident gives him some peculiar dreams. The season comes to an end with Crocker and Jake being forced to collaborate in order to save the kidnapped Tinny. Season 5 After the wild adventure Jake took in the previous season by saving Tinny, his rescue mission leads to his kidnapping. The Doyles have been anxiously searching for him for the past 2 months, and Tinny risks her career as a police officer and becomes unprofessional by involving her personal life in her police work and helping Jake. As a result, Tinny gets suspended. Meanwhile, Des overcomes his sorrow over losing Tinny. Jake experiences more complications in returning to St. John, unregistered trademark S, but eventually makes it home safe with the help of his niece. Jake and Leslie, unregistered trademark S relationship heats up, with Jake nearly impregnating her. When Leslie is being followed and nearly gets shot, Jake is extremely worried for her safety but soon finds out her pursuer is actually her long-lost husband. Jake and Leslie try but fail to smooth their relationship with the shocking news. Leslie and Jake are finally forced to define their relationship and decide not to see each other due to the recent complications, even after Jake confesses his love. After Des hooks up with a troubled young woman, Sloane, he must avoid Tinny. Jake finds it hard to avoid Leslie when he gets tied up in her ex-husband, unregistered trademark S business. Meanwhile, Tinny gets the chance of her career on a big case. To make matters worse for Jake, Nikki pays him a visit. The season ends with Jake being tried and arrested for murder but is then kidnapped by one of Leslie, unregistered trademark S pursuers. The kidnapper forces Jake to make several unwarranted missions. Season 6 After being accused of murder, Jake must confront his enemies as he comes to terms with what happened to Leslie and try to clear his own name in the process. Leslie goes back to work a couple episodes in, but with conditions she must obey to, and she must meet with the force therapist. Sloane gets into trouble and Jake must bail her out by making a deal with Vic Saul. Even though she was not cleared by her therapist after having a panic attack on duty, Leslie lends a hand to the Doyle clan to try and clear Jake's name before it is too late. When Leslie's past disobedience on the force comes to light, she must work harder than ever to save her job. Jake's murder conviction comes front and center as the season comes to a final close, with all the Doyle family trying to clear his name. Episodes. Reception. Ratings. DVD releases. Entertainment One has released the first 5 seasons on DVD in Canada. The 6th and final season will be released on April 21, 2015. Acorn Media has released the first 2 seasons on DVD in the USA. In Region 4, Beyond Home Entertainment has released the first 2 seasons on DVD in Australia. International broadcasters, Republic of Doyle is aired in the USA on various stations via syndication. References. External links, official website, Republic of Doyle at the Internet Movie Database.